Hello, hello, happy Tuesday. I am coming live for all of my daytime friends and later to my nighttime lovers. And daytime friends and nighttime lovers, hoping no one else discovers where they go or what they do in their secret hideaway. Okay, I promise I'll stop that. Hi, Elaine. I am putting on One Drop Wonder and Sotox. This is my daily treatment. This is the only, well, it's the only daily thing that I do. Occasionally I do a mask and a scrub, or scrub and exfoliate and stuff like that. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Carrie. I'm so glad that I have some daytime friends. These two products, I know I talk about them all the time, but in case you're popping in and you don't know, Elaine, I'm pretty sure you don't have these and you need them. Sotox is coming back online this week, later this week. It is sold out, but it is coming back. We do still have One Drop Wonder, and I don't know why, because this should be sold out just like with Young Living's frankincense problem that they're always having. This should be sold out all the time. If people knew how effective this was and how versatile this was, we would not be able to keep it on the shelves. So the only thing I can think of is just that people just don't believe it yet. So we're a new company, it's a new product. It is 100% pure essential oil from the Osage orange, hedge apple, bodark apple, horse apple, whatever you want to call those big green bumpy balls. This is what that's from. It is the only moisturizer you need. It's the only eye cream you need. It is going to give you back probably 5 to 10 years, depending on where you are in your stage of life. And then when you combine it with the Sotox, you get lightening and brightening and tightening. So those two products together are really all you need. So there's that. Anyway, I have a new trick. So I just did that. So you never want to put our foundation on immediately after this. Well, there are some exceptions, but you want to let any moisturizer that you're using kind of soak in a little bit before you do foundation. Otherwise, you'll notice just a little bit of separation. So I'm gonna let that dry. You can even take a tissue and blot it if you were in a hurry, because your skin's going to take what it needs right away within 10 seconds. So if you have excess, that's probably not going to be where you're getting your benefit. Your face is taking what it needs pretty much immediately. So you could blot it if you needed to hurry. I'm blotting with my dry fingers. And now my fingers are going to look really young. Okay, so we have been almost out of stock for a long time of our pressed powder, which is the world's greatest pressed powder. It's made by a company called Ket. It's been used in Hollywood on sets by professional makeup artists forever, and it's the same manufacturer. We just put it under the LimeLight label, and it's been out of stock, and it's what I use to set the foundation and the concealer. However, I recently learned from super smart Catherine Palmer that, and I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I just didn't, that we can set the foundation with setting spray only. And I tested this out for 2 days because I wasn't gonna come on here and be like, hey, this is gonna work, and then have you guys running around, freaking out because your concealer was, caking in your lines or whatever. It doesn't. It works. The difference is a dewy finish versus a matte finish. So if you prefer a matte finish, hang on, the powder will be online again later this week, so you'll get some. But if you don't have the setting spray, you need to order it now, because you're going to be blown away. This is the perfect, like, springy, summer, dewy look that you're going to want. So I've been testing out a new foundation color that we have that isn't available yet, but it's going to be soon. It's Olive 3, and it's a pretty good mix for me. So for those of you who are looking for just one foundation instead of the two that I always recommend, and I still want you to buy 2 of these because you don't want to have to deal with outages, because once you get used to this foundation, you won't ever want anything else. And when we run out of stock, and that's going to happen until our poor tiny little family manufacturer can become a giant corporate manufacturer, you just need to buy 2 when it's available. Okay, so I'm just rolling this kind of on the top with very little pressure on top of the product, and then rolling it on my face in circles. Circles, circles, circles. One direction and then the other direction. Takes practice. It's annoying to learn it because your hand isn't just naturally going to do it as easily as mine, but once you build up the muscle memory, then you've got it. Okay, so foundation, and that is the number, I think this is, number 2. It's the all over face brush. This is in stock. You need this, especially if you can do this and your brush hairs come out of it. That's just not acceptable. You need a different brush. If you've had your brush for 10 years, you need a new brush. I mean, for crying out loud, you replace your mattress after 8 years, but you're gonna keep your face brush for 10. Let's rethink that. All right, number 0 concealer. You've seen me do this 1,000 times. Erica, I hope that you are watching. You're probably not. You're probably saving someone's life right now, but you need to be watching closely. Erica's been having trouble with the concealer sinking into fine lines, and I'm telling you that that is an error in application. It is not the product. So we're gonna figure it out together. Hi Charlotte, hi Destiny, April, Amanda, my favorite hostess ever. Hi Ray. Okay, so pat and pull, and this should be what I would call a thin layer of concealer. You absolutely must use both fingers. Oh, what in the world happened there? Oh, it's crappy mascara because I'm out of our LimeLight mascara and I've been having to use this old mascara. Oh, it's dreadful. Erin, for the love of Pete, send me one of those mascaras. I'll simply die if you don't. Okay, so to keep it from getting into fine lines and settling there, it must be set quickly. So if I put this on now and then I go do a bunch of other things to my face and then I set it, I'm going to have to go in and make sure that I gather any excess out of the fine lines by using a dry finger, sorry, I need a manicure, and pressing that out. This is such a delicate touch and this requires absolute finesse. You cannot do this. Okay, you also cannot use these fingers and expect to get a flawless application. You must use these, go against what all of those old wives told you about this causing wrinkles. It doesn't. The sun does. Okay, and your lack of one drop wonder. That's what causes wrinkles. All right, so you're using these fingers because I'm pretty sure God made these to fit perfectly right here. Perfectly. This one, you're bringing it over and then you don't have full access to your entire finger, and so you end up using part of it and you just never get quite an equal level. So anyway, this is layer 1 of concealer. It should look 2 shades brighter under your eyes than anywhere else. All right? And you're going to have an instinct to wipe that off because you're gonna see, if you're not used to it being brighter, you're gonna be like, nope, nope, wrong color, too light, too light. Fight that instinct in order to grow and to do something different and better. Otherwise, you're just gonna have the same makeup you've always had. And if that's cool with you, it's cool with me. But you probably wouldn't be watching if you weren't interested in elevating your game just a little bit. All right, so now I just went back for a tiny bit more, and this is less product. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see my finger skin and my full fingerprint through the amount of product, okay? Making sure that it's nice and warm. You need that warmth because it is wax based. And now I'm gonna add it right here to the occipital bone, specifically the zygomatic arch. Lane Miller, if you're watching, I know that you're judging my medical terminology. Okay, We want this skin right here to be the same color as this skin right here. That creates an optical illusion that there is no dent or softness here, that these are the same. Obviously they're not. This is soft skin and this is taut skin because it's stretched over a bone. But when you make them the same color, you create an optical illusion from an arm's length distance, not from here. We never judge from here because this is just not pretty. We're all a Monet. Okay, right there. Then you create an optical illusion that this skin is taut, okay? It's an illusion, it's not reality. Got that? Okay, now, here's the super fun trick. I'm excited. I'm gonna take a drink and pause for dramatic effect. All right, I'm excited to show y'all this because it means you have to buy stuff like a beauty blender. Oh, I'm sorry, it's called Blenderful in LimeLight lingo. Okay, so setting spray. I talk about the setting spray a lot. If you haven't heard me talk about it, it's probably because you just moved out from under your rock. But it does so many different jobs, and I'm going to show you several of them. But first, I'm going to show you the one that I'm super excited about. So happy that Catherine Palmer, I wish she was watching, showed me this. I mean, I've been a makeup artist for years. I just had no idea. Okay, so normally I would set this with, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go a step further. Oh, the delay. Oh, the delay. You can handle it. I'm using number 6 concealer. Yep, looks real scary, right? It's okay. Don't freak out. Just gonna slap it on in all the places where it needs to go, which is the hairline, the temple, right under the cheekbone, and a smidgy bit on the sides of the nose. Then I'm gonna go back to that big brush and I'm gonna make my circles. You see how quickly I'm able to do that? That is high friction and low pressure. It takes practice. If you're not willing to sit and practice, you're never gonna get it. If you're not willing to sit, you're never gonna get it. If you insist on leaning over your bathroom counter, you're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. That's twice today I've sang to y'all. I need some hearts or something for that. Come on. All right. Now it's all blended in. Now the trick. Are you ready for the trick? No more delays. Dry sponge. I have not wet it. I haven't tried that yet. I don't think it's necessary, but I haven't tried it. Setting spray. 3 squirts. Finesse, ladies. Finesse. Gentle, gentle, dab, dab, dab. I used my forehead first to make sure that if there was any like pile of wetness in the sponge, that it was going to go on my forehead and not under my eyes. Okay, if you smash this on too hard, you're going to wipe your concealer right off. But this will set your foundation all flipping day. And it leaves you with a dewy finish as opposed to the matte finish. So you see all that sheen that I'm getting? Amazing. Our powder still has a great place, and this is not something I would switch to every single day, but for a light look that I don't want to look like I'm wearing much foundation, I'm going to do another spray and just kind of keep going. I didn't put any on my eyes, but if I had, I would set that too. So I wore this like for a whole day, and I looked and looked and looked in the mirror until my husband was like, dude, what? Okay, stop. And it totally worked. I didn't have any creasing. It never separated. I will say that it does take finesse. Like you cannot just, and I wouldn't just spray it directly on. It does need to be sort of pressed in, and you need to make sure that you get every single bit of it. This is a wax-based foundation. It's never going to sink into your skin. It's always going to sit on the top, and it is completely mobile until it is set with what I thought had to be setting powder. Turns out the setting spray works. So it's very exciting because look what else you can do with the setting spray. It's $28. That's nothing. You'll spend that at lunch. At lunch. isn't gonna make your face look this good. Okay, I'm spraying my brow tamer, and I let somebody borrow. We're just gonna have to do dark brows today. I'm doing really dark brows today. Okay, ignore the fact that this is completely the wrong color for me. But when you spray your brush and then do your brows are going to stay put. And you'll get a little bit more depth of color out of your whichever brow color you're using, which is the same thing as our shadows, okay? So kind of get out of the mindset that what the cosmetic industry wants us to believe is that there has to be one product for every single task that you want to, because that's how they sell multiple products. But LimeLight is different. We want to empower women, and we want to give you the knowledge that it takes to utilize as few products as possible and to just be loyal to those products instead of being taken advantage of. So the spray for the next one, I don't know if you guys heard, but it turns out the unicorn and the donkey thing is because you're not using your left hand to do your left brow or your right hand to do your right brow, if that's your weird side. So I've been making myself do it, and it's very awkward, which is good for me to know because I'm asking you guys to use both hands to do your makeup well in many applications. So I'm gonna hold on to my elbow and take a deep breath and trust that I can do this, even though it's awkward. All right. It's so awkward. It's very difficult. Honestly, I just want to quit and grab it with my other hand. Don't do that. You ask your kids, you ask your husband, you ask people all the time to do hard things. Look, now that one's the unicorn and this one's the donkey. Seriously. Now I have to go back and fix this one because that one's so good. You ask people in your life to do hard things that they don't know how to do, but to learn it all the time. Be that person. Make yourself learn new tricks. All right, then we're gonna brush them up. I don't normally use this color, but when my roots are this dark, it doesn't look too bad. It's a little too orangey, but it works. Okay, so my other favorite trick with the setting spray is in my hair. Now this won't work for everyone's hair. If you have really heavy, thick hair, this isn't gonna do much for your hair. But if you have wispy, fine hair like this and you have lots of dimension of, or you wish you had lots of dimension of color, spraying the setting spray in your hair makes it all piecey and beachy and brings out all of the color. And there's no alcohol in it, so it doesn't dry it out. It is not going to give you volume. I'm getting volume because I'm lifting it. I want to be clear about that. But I love the texture and the dimension that it gives. It's kind of like one of those sculpting sprays. So this is bed hair, but it totally works for summer. There we go. Anyway, it's probably not the best, with the sun right behind me, it's probably not the best way for you to see that, but I mean, you can tell, like, all of a sudden this is highlighted more than this. So you see the clear, bright spots, and then these are a little bit darker, and that just provides more interest as you're moving about. And the more points of light that you have coming off of the right places, the more your eyes shine, and the more your eyes shine, the more people look into them, and the more you are known. So there is my trick of the day, lovelies. I've been so excited to show y'all that because it took me 2 days of practice to make sure that it worked. One thing I did try yesterday also was adding the setting powder over the setting spray and then using the setting spray again. And that definitely gave me kind of a less of a summertime look, more of a full face look, but it totally worked. So it didn't cause any caking or separating or any reason not to do that. So Erica, if you're watching this, I know that you were struggling with getting your concealer to come together in the fine lines. And I would suggest trying the setting spray and then maybe set it with powder. A lot of this depends on your skin, and I am here to work with you through that. Don't put it on, not get the result, and then be like, ugh, it doesn't work. I promise it's you, not the product, and let me help you, because I'm happy to do it, and I really want to. Like, I enjoy troubleshooting and figuring out, and I love the reaction that people get when they're like, oh my God, it worked. Like, you sat down and you practiced and you did the trick and it actually worked. And then I love to see people light up with enthusiasm, because that's not what the cosmetics industry has told us. They have told us, oh, well, then you need another product. And by the way, you can't return that one that didn't work for you, so I guess you're just gonna have to spend more money. Not the case here, girls. So this is a safe place to buy, and I appreciate your loyalty and your support. And setting spray is available online, $28. Go get yourself some if you don't have it, and try this out. Perfect summer breezy look. I'm not doing anything else except maybe adding a little bit of gloss, and then if I don't go feed my horses soon, they're gonna walk through the front door. So I gotta go. Mwah! Love you guys. Ciao.